Greetings, I'm Light.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play games. Yeah, so I was just observing that they've changed the music 3 times in this scene. From like the standard My Missing Dragons
Ride
to
of the
Hall of the
Valkyrie.
Mountain King
Yeah,
to
Hall of
this
the Mountain
thing.
King,
Like just like this date has so much scoring to it. Like it's scored incredibly.
This
It's like
really definitely.
it's fine. We hired a composer for this one date. There's an entire orchestra in the background. It's fine. Right across the little brook here. It's fine. All right. Anything.
That
wasn't
not a
me.
moment.
So he spent his entire life focused on me, just me, only me, and I am.
This is why I say
completely unequivocal to his preparation.
I was about to say that also doesn't work at all because he does
Whoa.
still seem to be kind of. He doesn't know much about Small at all.
Again, yeah. Wow, his literal world revolves around me. How come he didn't know about bathing suits, which I use all the time? Or
Like I
about
said.
nudity, which is part of my culture. Or about, like, that nudity doesn't mean much to us at all. Maybe his parents were really shit about teaching him about this.
You have
Maybe they
shitty
were.
parents, dude.
Your parents are crappy teachers. They have very unusual priorities in reference to me.
Right?
Also, how do they not teach you when you knew everything about me that I didn't know anything about you? That I didn't know you were coming, that I hadn't been prepared, that I hadn't been trained anyway. How would you learn what my favorite sandwiches are without learning that I don't know I'm the Dragon Slayer princess? I just need to know. Sir, could you tell me?
Sir,
Excuse me.
sir.
Small stops. Looks very thoughtful. Stands up, puts the sandwich down, looks Dylan in the eyes and goes, if you knew everything about me, how come you didn't know that I didn't know that I was the Dragon Slayer princess? My whole life.
In your brain, and you didn't know.
Him, Galaxy
Him.
Brain. Woo!
Ah.
All right. Wow. His literal world revolved around me. My heart flutters at the thought of being the center of someone's universe.
Actually, don't be. It
But
sucks.
at the same time, I feel sorry for him. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you in regards to at least for real life relationships that I've ever run into where they're like, you are the center of my world. If anything at all ever goes wrong or that person does anything that is not in the line of you are the center of my universe, that can go real bad.
Or if you are the center of their universe, there's one way that you are expected to, one way to take it is that you are expected to meet all of their needs.
Yes.
Period. You are the only nourishing source for them. All of their social, all of their physical, all of their affection, all their support, all their feedback, all of their everything.
Okay, yes.
So the isolation fantasy that bothers me about a lot of these things is going, one person does not have enough brain to contribute to a complex society and emotional growth of a person. Like, it takes a village. Like, we are social creatures, and if you only ever expose yourself to the ideas and experiences of one person, you're going to find yourself in a very interesting, unfulfilled void for the most part. Like, so that just can be very dangerous if someone looks to you to fill every one of their needs.
Yeah, you bet.
All right.
Not a little much.
No friends? You don't know that. No life? You don't know that either. No choices outside of you? You don't know that he didn't choose that, but limited choices for sure. His parents must have been extremely harsh to him as a child. Honestly, this could be an incredibly positive experience, okay? Like, you do not know. Like, it seems like because of his conflict of going, I have to do everything perfect, that things were harsh on him, that he did have a hard time. Like, there's been some character exposition in that way, suggesting that his life has been hard and he's been stuck in his right of duty. And especially when he dug into Rai, going, I've done everything I'm supposed to do, you haven't.
Again, though, what I'm annoyed by is there's way too much implicit or even just vague suggestions.
Like, we don't
There's
know
no
these
real,
things.
true, explicit. Like, even here, we're not really actually having a conversation about going, we're not asking, did you have friends? What was your life like? What
I have decided these things. Not, you had friends supporting you in this, everyone else was going, yeah, you're gonna marry the Dragon Slayer princess when you grow up. And that's part of your friend group.
There's
Who
no
knows?
further details being asked. Because clearly he said that I wasn't allowed to have any thoughts outside of you, basically. But like going, like, what exactly does that mean?
What does that look
What
like?
does your day look like then in regards to
Additionally, if it's not thoughts outside of you, if you are included in his entire future as assuming the throne and taking his position as what we assume would be king,
he has to think about something other than you.
Or all of those things that relate to you would be thinking about you. Somehow he is learning politics in relation to you. He is learning leadership skills in relation to you. He is learning decorum
I'm
in
going to
relation
have to
you.
make up for the fact that actually maybe he knew the entire time. He just knew Small didn't have any goddamn idea that she was a Dragon Slayer princess.
And so he wants to be useful to her in that I will know absolutely fucking everything about my entire world and be able to handle all of it, so you can show up and know nothing and I will be able to give you the answer at all times.
Yep.
There's that possibility too.
This
is so open and vague. There's so many interpretations. I'd love to have them be like, it's interesting to be able to shove in your stuff, but if you have a lot of ideas, I'd like to know what their idea was rather than leaving it so open.
Right.
Right. Must have been extremely harsh on them as well. Again, we don't know these things. She's deciding these things in her head right now.
Right?
I've never thought about the pressure these guys felt. Now we're not on him anymore. We're suddenly on the group.
Right?
These guys felt having to pursue me. They're from 3 different cultures, with 3 different sets of parents, from 3 different kingdoms. You have no idea if what he just said applies to the other 2, let alone if your extrapolations in your head are accurate.
And there's also the thing, too, of going, like, about the pressure. What if it's not the pressure? What if it's just what you do every single day? Every
just
single
that
day,
experience.
if you just go to work.
Every day you get up and you get dressed and you go to school.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, and it may or may not be the pressure. Every day you get up and you are in your house. It just happens. It just is.
Right?
Every day you wake up and you are in your body.
I feel like that like, again, that warrants more of a more complicated discussion
Yeah.
in regards to that. Like, I demand a colloquium. That's
Right,
what I
these
need
guys
today.
having to pursue me. Especially Dylan.
Especially, no comma, Dylan.
Especially Dylan.
Especially Dylan.
Nope, he's especially Dylan. Hello, especially Dylan. You're especially Dylan. Well, look, I wish sometimes that you could see the expressions on my friend's face. It's amazing. Just because the sun, or like mine, when one of us says something, or when the game says something, one of us just, this face, amazingly.
It
like,
emerges,
whoa.
and we're just kind of
Like,
like, oh, it's
There's
a
no
creature.
way to do it on YouTube, because even if we had a face cam, which we have no plan to do, you cannot see subtle expressions on that tiny of a cam. It's not
It's
there.
true.
Like, I have watched other YouTubers, and even the ones that have like split screen, half the screen is them, you can't catch that much subtle expression unless you're doing it on a huge fucking screen.
Right?
Like, it's just not there. All right. I look at Dylan a little differently now. Cock
Because
my
I
head
thought
slightly.
nothing about you, and I never had any more complicated
I didn't
like,
realize.
feelings.
Well, because I never asked you any questions about anything, ever. It's fine. I can understand why he was such an intense person now. He's not anymore, but he was.
He was. It's all gone
Historically,
now.
But he has stopped.
It's gone.
In this moment.
He's here. He's
No
gonna
longer.
immediately run off with rainbows and sparkles and throwing fire everywhere with Phoenix.
Whee! All right. Why he was such an intense person now. Dylan, I searched for the right words to say. Anything.
This is the longest fucking scene.
Oh, this is an experience. Okay, like whatever else is going on here, just in that moment, this idea of someone you never met and you dominated their entire life focus without knowing it, that can be an emotional feeling, an experience.
Right.
You know? Like there's just a weight of going, this person that I never knew existed, their entire life revolved around me. That can feel like pressure, that can feel like confusion, that can feel like I've missed out on something, that can feel like obligation, like all kinds of things at once, or you can simply feel like their loss of whatever I had, they clearly didn't have the freedom that I perceived myself to have. Like, that is a complex experience.
That's...
I want to cry for stealing his life. Like, that's an experience that's reasonable to have, of just going this breadth of awareness of the way I see it is that your life was utterly limited because of being focused on me.
Right.
I never had that in reverse. It feels unfair
Yeah.
and frustrating and unequal.
Uh-huh,
Like, so-
and in that way, that could totally also make sense. And that's also a weird level of, like, self-awareness and also potentially, like, your complexity of your life.
Like,
Going,
she's suddenly,
you've been
in this moment, finally connected.
galaxy brain, poof, that's made of sad.
Whoa, and then
Everything
sad.
broke.
Yes. All right. You must hate me. Which, of course, is tone deaf, because, of course, he doesn't, because he said he doesn't. But it could be, like, deep-seated, like, talk to a therapist, I hate you, kind of thing.
Right.
Of, like, even if I like you, I hate you because you have been the crux of all choices in my entire life.
And I wasn't allowed to make any other decisions except in reference to you.
Maybe you wish I was never born, so that you could just have a normal life. Because a dragon prince who's set to inherit would totally have
A
a
normal
normal life
life.
if he hadn't had a prearranged, a predestined marriage. Yep.
Right, uh-huh, completely.
Dylan's expression changes immediately, and he nearly grabs me. Whoa.
Don't be a fool. You were the only thing I had to look forward to.
Because my life was a nightmare. Ugh.
Or that's what that seems to imply, but I'm also
does.
like, was
I
it a
didn't-
nightmare though only because it was focusing on you? I'm again going like, how are these things separate? Well, you said that you weren't allowed to do anything outside of small, right?
Right.
So how were the only thing that you had to look forward to because
Was
all the other
small.
stuff sucked so hard? But you said that everything was only in relation to small, so how did that stuff suck?
I can see that being circular,
does
but
that-
I can also see it being like another way of going. Like, I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
Like I say, I do get it.
Okay.
It's like that whole, I use the magic of the broken magic thing to control the broken magic thing.
Right.
Yeah, like, I get it.
Right.
Okay, so, but what I'm also saying is that if basically the structure of his life working up to this,
Okay.
all the pressure put on him was just suffocating. Not the focus, but the structure and behavior around it of how you study, who is, leaning over your shoulder, who's judging you, who's pushing you into line, who's demanding things
Okay.
of you. And you know that it's all working you towards this thing, and so you can look forward to that thing.
Okay.
And you know it's all going to go away once you get that thing.
Okay.
So I have only you to look forward to. Doesn't matter if my whole life is structured around getting to you, I have only you to look forward to because there's nothing else.
Okay, I could see that.
So a couple of ways to interpret it.
I could see that. I still just like I don't get
Intense
it.
though.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagined what you would be like, how you would look, your voice, everything. God, that's gotta be also super fucking disappointing.
I was in a void, and then suddenly, you did know that I didn't know though. You had to.
I knew the moment I could be with you, I would finally be free from that life.
Yep, it is.
Okay, I
You look
need
forward
to know-
us because whatever he was going
Small,
through
what
ends.
the fuck happened in your life? Like, I would ask going like, wait,
What was your life like?
I need to know.
Yeah, what
Because
was
this
it
sounds
like?
insane. What is up with your kingdom that makes you basically hate it so much?
Mm-hmm.
Your entire life with your family and your obligations and being a prince. Like, what actually makes it so terrible? I have no context. Please explain.
This context, please explain.
Yeah.
All right. Whoa.
And now I want more than anything to make you mine.
Which we assume you wanted before, but now you want it even more than that.
And again, like, there's a level of going, like, I don't know how much this is also consensual. Again, if you're forcing someone to literally be obsessed with someone else, I'd be like, my very first thought, honestly, would be like, Dylan, go get a therapist.
Yeah.
Holy shit, like, being that, to me, I find it to be really unhealthy to be that attached to someone. I can totally get how somebody goes, in a fictional sense, this sounds incredibly deeply romantic.
or
Again,
deeply powerful.
if he's gone into deep, like, I've imagined what you sounded like, what you smelled like, all these other details, can you imagine, again, that thing where I'm like, the center of my universe, if anything gets out of line, I will question the validity of you being that thing.
Or of
and
my
you might
reality.
Yeah.
Like, I will question the validity of my reality, of
Like,
the truth I've been told my entire
think it'd
life.
be so
Additionally
fucking
going,
dangerous.
you were my only stress relief, you were my only escape, even when you were the thing I was working towards.
Yeah.
Like, the pain and frustration and overwhelm of my life, imagining you was the only way I could get away from it.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, that's a lot of pressure on us to live up to what that thing
Hey,
is.
what the
Ugh.
absolute shit?
I blush, feeling the determination in his words.
I would fear, like, some sort of existential dread / horror.
Oh yeah,
on
of
that,
going,
like,
there's
part-
no way I can live up to an entire
lifetime.
of you imagining that I will solve every one of
'Cause-
your problems when you meet me.
Again, we don't know how old he is. He might be,
Uh-huh.
for all intents and purposes, though we've joked about it, he might be several hundred years old. And we're talking about people several hundred years
Yes,
old.
we don't
Like-
know what dragon maturity is or dragon timelines or anything are.
Nope.
Also, they didn't state their ages. They just said they were waiting for our age.
They were waiting for you to become, like,
For you to become legal. For it to become legal in the contract for them to even contact you. And they were all a day early, jerks. Alright, am I everything he hoped I would be? No, it's
No.
impossible at that point.
And also at the same time too, he's also literally, he just called you a fool. Like, I hate to point that out, but that could also potentially be indicative of going, how dare you basically try to ruin the image of you that I have? I know you are these things.
And I'm
It's like
going,
the other person
you
going,
must
"No,
hate
I'm
me," and him
literally
going,
not.
you're being an idiot. That's not correct.
Yeah.
Of course I want you.
And again, that's what I'm talking about. He could have some extreme, basically, desire to basically course correct if Small ever acts out in a way that he doesn't see
And
as
going, no,
us.
that's not who you are. That
That
could be terrifying.
Oh, God.
On the other hand, we're as powerful as he is, so we can hold around and push him into therapy. It's fine.
Except that,
picks him
honestly,
up
that doesn't really do much
and goes,
for some people.
I understand that you think I am soft and fluffy and going to solve your problems, but I also understand that the way we killed you people was with a single touch. Therapist you go.
Boink!
Bye!
Please don't kill and eat the therapist. They do not deserve
Yep.
that.
Does he really want to be with me? Or just satisfy his family? Or get away from the experience he's been trapped in?
Or
simply fulfill this thing he's been working towards his entire
Entire life.
His entire life has been one long quest with no completion, no satisfaction, no resolution until you.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a little horrifying.
That's
my dudes.
exhausting. Can you imagine there being no stepping stones of accomplishment along the way, except she's getting older?
I love how
You better be
awkward this
ready.
transition is. Oh! Look at
Back
that!
to the apartment music. Ta-da! Oh, it's time to get back to work. I mean, sometimes that happens. You're like, your timer goes off, you go, shit, lunch break is over.
Oh,
Wah!
I hated that sometimes. I remember actually when we had separate jobs, and sometimes when I would be talking to my friend Liza, I would just be like, oh shit, my thing, I have to go bye! And it could be like we were having an intense conversation, and be like, nope, you gotta put it down.
We were in the middle of a discussion many times, and my friend would just be like, bye, I'm sorry. I'm like, you don't need to apologize. It's fine. I know your break is over.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things about respecting your friend's job and having them be professional and respect their own job. Going, not the, my break is over. I'm going to need to leave in a minute. God, my boss. Just like both of us in both ways, in all ways, have been very professional in that way of going, I gotta go. And you just
Honestly,
go.
though, I always thought it was really funny. So this is not for me to like try to shove this in my friend's face, but I thought it was really funny, basically, where my boss actually, our boss, I should say, at the time, really actually shoved it in everybody's face, basically going, the only person who ever got back on time was actually me.
Yes.
And a lot of people did not like going to break with me because I would basically
be punctual.
I would be like, you have to have a thing, so that's what I did.
That's the rules, so that's what you do.
Right? I'll walk you back. And I do not necessarily want to endorse that people should be like, yes, I will, enforce, being incredibly, basically, beholden or compulsory, driven.
Like, absolutely rule following.
Yeah.
Like some people say spirit versus letter, etc. But for me, I find rules to make life simpler. Like, I find that if everyone's following the same rules, things work very simply.
Right.
Now, I don't think rules need to be enforced upon people, but I think if you're working in an environment where you understand unified rules, if everyone follow, if you know what they are, such as this is my company, if you want to work here, you need to follow these, just follow them. And if you cannot follow them, make that clear when you're being hired for the job, or make that clear, when they're told to you, and then find out whether or not you're a good fit.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. All right. It's the end of my shift. Hey, Mr. Manager guy.
Short hop or long hop, not sure.
Now there's just one thing left for me to do today. Oh, we're going to quit, aren't we?
Yep.
No chickening out, Small. Mr. Stanley, can I talk to you for a minute?
How many times do I have to show you that?
No, it's not that.
I can't punch out. Honestly, I've had that as a mood. Sometimes
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
I cannot get the ding-ding to register my finger.
My fingerprint.
Then
My
when
God.
we changed,
When we switched to fingerprint scans, I spent so much time teaching people how to do it, how to moisten their finger but not have it wet, how to make sure the scanner was cleaned off, and then how to press gently instead of hard so that, it would scan, but also to hold still. Like, I'm sitting here training adult people, frequently 2 or 3 times my age, going, here's how you get your fingerprint to work so you can get paid without having to do time clock corrections.
yes.
Anyway, it's something else. Something important. He peers at me briefly, noticing the serious look on my face, going, dude, this doesn't seem like you at all.
This should be interesting.
Hi, you never have anything except for panic. What's going on?
What's up?
Wow, to the back room.
room?
Well done, my
Holy
dude.
shit!
Okay, there is a window in this back room that opens. Their cannon is just now destroyed. There was no back room. There was no back entrance. There was no other window we could go out when we were locked in. There is a window, and I call cannonry bullshit. We could have left through that window when the lock was broken.
Oh my God! Either that or what happened is, so they did the script, and then whoever was doing the art did not connect to the scenes at all.
Did not have that connection. Okay, so right here,
wow,
that is a big problem because we were literally locked in. Your Phoenix special scene of spending the night in there. You're calling the locksmith. Call the locksmith. Everything.
Call the locksmith.
It's ruined if you have this style of window right here.
Oh my fucking! Because that's not. Oh
Like,
my
unless
God.
you have like bars over it or something.
Yeah, no,
Like there's that. You could just crawl right out that window.
All right, Small. What's this about? If you're gonna ask for a raise, we don't have that in the budget right now.
Yeah, I know. It's no, I'm not asking for a raise. I take a deep breath, willing myself not
This
to
sounds
cry.
like, honestly, that Small does not want to do this at all, and I feel
She
terrible.
doesn't. And she has admitted she doesn't want to do this. She's not ready to leave her life, and she's very uncomfortable that she's supposed to choose one of them to marry. Like, she's made that fairly clear. She hasn't gone on and on about it in great discourse.
Oh, yeah.
But she's made it very clear. Again, we don't know her outside of being stressed and anxious about this whole situation, and she's never really gotten more comfortable with it, just more acclimatized to it.
Lots more
you just
dissociation, too.
You just get used to things because they're around you all the time.
Yep.
All right, I take a deep breath, willing myself not to cry. This is harder than I thought it would be. Feel so weird about all this. I think it's because this step makes everything feel real. My promise to the elders, my future with the Dragon Prince, all of it. Actually, I'm giving you my notice. I'm quitting.
Aha!
right.
Well, you know what? On that note, we're gonna find out then what is going to happen in response.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it's
I
a
wish
little
we had
intense.
more of a timeline here. Like,
Yes.
is she giving 2 weeks notice? Is she giving like 1 day notice? Like, how far are we from the end of the month? I'd like to know.
It also depends also on your job and also how your culture actually handles notices. Because
Right, it
I don't
does.
know if everybody, and depending on also, I guess, I want to say, class. In terms of for the United States, not everybody does the 2-week notice thing. Some people just expect it's going to be 1 week. Some people expect it's literally going to be no time at all. You just give me
Right.
my notice and you're walking
And I'm
out the
done.
door.
That's my
or
last
you
shift.
just walk out the door and that's the end of it.
Yep.
Which I actually did, but that's fine. But I
Sometimes
did
that
not do
happens.
that at my other jobs. Okay, dang it, I did not do that.
Only has my friend done that once when it was that bad.
Yep,
All
pretty
right,
much.
Come on.
All right, well, thank you very much then, guys, again, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you enjoy us and would like to support us more personally,
Yeah.
which would be super awesome, we would appreciate if you go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon. We've got some links in the description down below. And I have been Scandal.
Additionally, if you just want to help us by spreading our videos and making us a little more visible, sharing this with someone you think might like it, or if you notice a place where we could access more of the community of fandom, and you want to either point us there or point other people to us, that would be greatly appreciated. And I have been Lies. And
It
was great playing with you.
Bye!